So, JuJu Watkins, she just got exposed, well, or did she, against Notre Dame. Yesterday was not a good game for JuJu. That's all I'm going to say. And obviously, JuJu Watkins is young. She's still 19 years old. Like, she's still 19. She's 19 till next July. Like, JuJu is going to be fine. She's going to be a really good player. But I think maybe we kind of jumped the gun almost on JuJu Watkins because she's having a sophomore slump in college. Like, she's still spectacular. She's averaging 22 points a game, but everything is about breaking Caitlin Clark's record. And the reality is she pretty much has to average 30 points per game for the rest of her college career. She needs to average 30 points a game, make long tournament runs for the rest of her college career. Because you can see she obviously scored more as a freshman, but she's down to 22 points a game. Her all-around game has been good this year. She's averaging more assists, more steals, more blocks, but her shooting's gone. Like, she's averaging 17% from three. And she's shooting the same amount. And look, I think JuJu's still brilliant. I don't want anyone to think that JuJu is not being brilliant, but when we look at the Notre Dame game yesterday, when we look at this game here, she wasn't the best player. She wasn't the best sophomore on the floor. That was Hannah Hidalgo. She shot the ball 25 times, and it's one of those games where it's like she really struggled. She really struggled throughout the whole game. 0 of 5 from 3, 10 of 25. She scored most of her points in garbage time. And from start to finish, Notre Dame, they looked comfortable. They looked really, really comfortable. And the scoreboard will show JuJu Watkins with 25 points. Or 24 points. But anyone who watched that game will come out just talking about how great Hidalgo, how great Olivia Miles was. To an extent, even on the defensive end, how great Sonia Citron was. Like, this was a grudge match. And the two USC players in Kiki Iriafen and JuJu Watkins really did not come out looking great. And to be honest, I think Kiki Iriafen, again, I think she's pulled a Haley Van Lith. She's gone somewhere. She's transferred to the wrong school. And I think she's going to could fall down draft boards. Thankfully, she's not a 5'8 guard, so she's not going to fall way off. But we're seeing it now. Haley Van Lith is playing her way back into being a first-round pick again, which she should have been last year. The LSU stuff didn't work. But when it comes to JuJu, I think we got to calm down because she's not as good as a sophomore as Caitlin Clark was as a sophomore. I'll stand by that. She's not as good as a sophomore as Paige Bueckers was a sophomore. The thing is about her is that she is still a 6'2 guard. She can do everything. She's blocking shots really well. She is the size of a power forward. She can play on the inside. She can play on the outside. She can do everything. But it just hasn't all been put together yet. And that's the thing where it's like, if you look at a highlight tape of JuJu Watkins, you're like, best player available or around. There's no one better than her. Look at what she can do. And that's the truth, is she can do all that. She can do everything at her height. The problem is just the efficiency. She can score from anywhere. She's bad at scoring from everywhere. And that's kind of the problem, is that, like, she shoots 40% from the field. 40. And I know a lot of people complain about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark doing something similar in the WNBA, but she still shot 34% from 3 when it was all said and done. Like, Caitlin Clark's WNBA percentages were 41.7 from the field, 34.4 from 3. The vast majority of her shots taken were from the 3-point line, shooting a effective field goal percentage of 52.2. And I think her true shooting was I think, as far as I'm aware, her true shooting was in the 60s, like in the decent 60s. JuJu Watkins is shooting an effective field goal percentage of 44.1. Not ideal. And a true shooting percentage probably of, and this is in college, and this is compared to the quote-unquote inefficient Caitlin Clark, where people complained about her in the W. But if we want to look at Caitlin Clark's college stats, Caitlin Clark in college shot an effective field goal percentage for her career of 56%. That is 12% higher than JuJu Watkins. And that's just, again, effective field goal percentage just takes into account that 3-pointers are worth an extra point. And as far as effective field goal percentage, 56, 57, 52, 57. So in her sophomore year, she only had 27 a game, I guess. Only 27. But she had an effective field goal percentage of 52, which is, again, 8 higher than JuJu Watkins. And that was the thing. That was her worst year in college. JuJu Watkins last year had an effective field goal percentage of 44 .441. So obviously she's... Oh, sorry, that's this year, 44.5. She attempted more threes last year, but she shot 40% from the field. Like, it's not good. It's 8 worse than Caitlin Clark's worst year in college. And the thing is that her best asset is scoring. On the positive note, she's a better defender than Caitlin Clark is. She's a better shot blocker. She's got more length. She's more athletic. And the ceiling is there for JuJu. I mean that. The ceiling is there. Like, to say JuJu Watkins doesn't have one of the highest ceilings in women's basketball is wrong. But she's not there yet. She's not. She's not even Flaujae yet. And, well, to be fair, I'm not saying that she's not Flaujae. I just think Flaujae has less flaws in her game. And, like, she just doesn't shoot well. She's a scorer who shoots horrifically. And everything else with JuJu is there. You can see with JuJu is that, like, she's got all the moves. She's got everything. But it's like a pretty 30 points on low efficiency is not as effective as a ugly 30 points. And obviously Caitlin Clark isn't ugly, but I'm not making that comparison. Than an ugly 30 points on unbelievable efficiency. We've seen it in the NBA. There's a reason why the Carmelo Anthonys of the world never did anything. Because, yes, everything looked pretty. They would score regularly allowed 25 points, but it didn't matter. The dude who barely misses and drops a quiet 22 is a better player, is a more effective offensive player. And that's the problem, is that, like, the USC offense is stand around and watch her. And I don't know, it's just, I've been watching enough of their games, and clearly JuJu Watkins is spectacular. But a lot of people, like, she was ranked above Paige Bueckers. She was ranked above Paige at the start of the year. Like, at least she's not being benched like full Wiley. Like, I'm sorry, if she had a chose to go to Dawn Staley and play at South Carolina, she'd be sitting beside full Wiley on the bench with the way she plays. Like, and by the way, that's not a knock on her. Like, I think what Dawn Staley's doing with full Wiley is ridiculous. But, like, we're looking at guards in in college basketball. And she has not been one of the 5 best guards this year. And I mean that if you count guards and point guards, wings. Olivia Miles has been better. Hannah Hidalgo has been better. Flaujae Johnson has been better. Paige Bueckers has been better. And, heck, I know it's a bit different, but, you know, haven't played that far, much different schedule. Your one from freaking Harvard might have been better. Like, there's probably some senior guard that's just hooping and not a WNBA prospect that's been better. But, like, Van Lith, what am I talking about? Van Lith has been better than her this year. I know you can look at the points, you can look at she's averaging 22. Hailey Van Lith has been better than her this year. And again, I think that JuJu Watkins by 2027 is going to, like, fall out of the draft. Obviously not. Do I think she's a guarantee number 1? No. Do I think it's likely that she's the Michael Jordan? People are like, oh, Angel and Caitlin are Larry and Magic. And it's like, it's not. Like, Caitlin Clark playing golf is Caitlin Clark playing golf gets more viewers than almost any other female basketball player. There's levels to this. But, like, Caitlin Clark was the Jordan. You don't need the comparisons. Paige Bueckers, as a sophomore freshman, was better than JuJu. JuJu just has that ceiling. And that's the difference with JuJu is JuJu has the ceiling. Because of her size, because of her athleticism, because of her ability to score from anywhere and score in any way, she's got that athleticism. Or she's got that, like, ceiling. But for me, when it comes to JuJu, it's like, I watch her and it's like everything she does is like, oh, wow. But then you're just thinking at the end, you're like, man, she's just put up 20 points on 20 shots. And you're like, in modern basketball, how relevant is that? I don't know. And the fact that she's even less efficient as a sophomore and as a freshman, Not a good sign for her scoring. On a positive note, the other stuff is better. She's been a better defender. She's got a lot more blocks. She's rebounding well. She's bigger, or she's not bigger. She's still big. She's got that upside. But look, I think people have set the comparisons too high for her. Like Charles Barkley saying right now she's better than Caitlin Clark. She's not better than Caitlin Clark as a sophomore. And Caitlin Clark had a huge growth. Her sophomore to her junior year and her junior to her senior year, she got way better. And even then, from when she was at a senior to now, she got way better. Anyone trying to say JuJu is better than the modern version of Caitlin Clark, I want whatever drugs you are on, or I also strive to hate something as much as you hate Caitlin Clark if you're saying that. Because right now, she's not even as good as Hannah Hidalgo, who's the same age as her. Right now, she's not as good as Flau'jae, who's 2 years older than her. Flau'jae's 2 years older than her. And right now, she's nowhere near as good as Paige Bueckers.